Welcome to my Borderlands 2 1 through 50 power leveling guide. Now, before I go ahead and jump into this, I don't recommend using this unless you've already played through most of the game or maybe even the entire game, and you just want to try out a new character or boost one of your characters up to maybe a buddy's level so that you guys can enjoy co-op together. Otherwise, I feel it kind of cheapens the experience, but nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. Use it how you want to. Enjoy. What you'll need: either 2 controllers or a friend who can access Tiny Tina's You're Cordially Invited quest on whichever game playthrough you're trying to boost on. This first part is, well, it's a huge exploit in the way the game works and the way this quest works in general. And it may or may not be fixed in the future, but as of right now, it's in full functionality. What you will have to do is either have one controller and a character who is on Tiny Tina's You're Cordially Invited quest, or who hasn't ever finished it, and a second controller, or your character and a buddy who hasn't ever completed the Tiny Tina's You're Cordially Invited quest chain. If they've completed it, you can't do this unless you know someone who hasn't actually completed the quest. Now, as you see on the top screen, the higher level player will have to go and clear out the bandit camp and then camp at this house. And the bottom screen, if you're using 2 controllers, you'll have your second character, who's going to be the one that's being boosted, sit there and accept the quest over and over every time it gets failed. And it just boosts your levels incredibly quick. You're either, if you don't know someone who is actually on this quest, or you haven't played through and have a character who can access this, it's going to take quite a while to actually level up and get there. You're going to be about probably level 12 minimum by the time you get there, but then you'll still be able to boost to level 20. Part 2 is levels 20 through 26, and you may stop at level 19 on the Tiny Tina's because it gets kind of slow after that, but you can still do it to about level 20 before the experience just gets so small that it's not even worth it. But as for this part, it's in Fink Slaughterhouse, which, if you haven't played through, you don't know where it's at, it's in the fridge. It's just a couple of storyline missions after you access Tiny Tina's little area. So I don't want to give any spoilers away by saying the one before it, but it's just maybe 2 or 3 quests after that one where you actually get to go to this area. And you go in, and basically it's just this circle of slaughter. The method to actually get the most levels out of this quest is you'll accept one quest, and I would suggest completing 1 through 4 and then just doing this exploit on quest number 5 or round number 5, but you can do it however you want to get the most levels. What you'll do is, I did it on round 5. I'd accept round 5. I would transfer all my gold or all my coins over to a mule account, which I'll show you how to do here in a minute after this clip. And then once I got to the very last wave of enemies on that round, I would let myself die. And basically, it's not a huge boost in levels, but it's a consistent pack of enemies that are your level that you're going to be getting quite a bit of experience from. And I mean, there's not a lot faster way unless you're just wanting to do the quest, or unless you're just wanting to quest. This is going to be one of the fastest ways to actually level, is getting to the end of the waves, letting yourself die. And this is good to about 26, 27-ish. Before it starts getting where it's not good anymore. And then after that, you should be good to complete the actual story mode for the first playthrough. By the time you get to the very end, you should be an adequate level where you're actually able to complete the final boss and unlock the true Vault Hunter mode, which is where you can get into some of the higher levels. Now, in order to transfer your coins over to another character so that whenever you die, you don't lose a whole big chunk of your money, you'll need 2 controllers. You start a new guy. It doesn't matter. It could be a guy you actually play with, a guy you don't, level 1, whatever, as a second player, and then you'll go into your story mode and just trade him all your money. Easy to explain. It's nothing complex. You trade him all your money, then you have him save and quit. You don't even have to leave the actual game screen. Just save and quit, and once he hits start, hits the exit button, you're good to go. You just go do your thing, and once you save up enough money where you're starting to worry about losing a big chunk of it again, you can transfer more over, and once you're done with the Fink Slaughterhouse, just transfer it all back, and you avoid losing a whole lot of money. Part 3 is Tiny Tina's on True Vault Hunter mode, and you can do this from level 1 if either you or a buddy has completed the entire story mode and has accessed this quest and hasn't ever completed it on True Vault Hunter mode, and it's good. You can boost from 1 or around 30 whenever you complete the game. If you don't have somebody who's already here and you're just going through and then you're going to boost to make the rest of the game easier on yourself, it's going to be, you're going to have to be about level 36 before you're actually able to kill the bosses and complete the quest that allow you to get here. Now, if you're really good or really bad, that level may fluctuate a little bit, but nonetheless, you're going to be around 36 before you're actually able to reach this if you're doing it yourself. But if you know someone who is at this point, then you can do it all the way up to level 40. I just said 40 because it's a good round number, but realistically, you can do it to about 42 or 43 before the experience starts getting so slow that it's not even worth it. Once you're around level 40, you can go back to Fink Slaughterhouse. If you've done this on part 1, you know exactly where it's at. It's in the fridge. You can go there, and round 5 is going to be quest level 43, so the enemies will be good until around 46 or 47, and then I assume that if you just do the storyline quest, you should be able to reach level 50 by the time you get to the end, or just by the time you get midway through towards the end and you're good to go. This method is optional, but it can be a quick little break from maybe grinding out Fink Slaughterhouse or whatever it is that you're doing. Now, you're going to be farming the monster called King Mong, and to do that, I know he has 3 spawn points, and I know 2 of them, which I'm showing you the route right now as to where they're out. I'll show you me running to him in both of the spawns where I know where his location is. One is right where I'm passing about now, and the other one you'll see in just a second. But the advantage to this method is you'll get a lot of gold. You get a lot of purples, a lot of blues, a lot of Eridium. If you need to farm Eridium, this is a really easy way to do it. And you can even get some oranges every once in a while, but I wouldn't really count on it. Now, to get your boosties XP where it's going to be worthwhile, you will, in your car, hit King Mong down up to a reasonably close to death level, and then once he's that close, you hop out of the car and you actually finish him off with either a gun or a melee attack or something in order to get the increased XP, or actually avoid the reduced XP from killing him with the car. So if you can, just jump out, shoot him once or twice, and then save, quit, and you'll go right back into it, and that'll make him respawn. On the first playthrough, King Mong is good up until about level 30, which, if you have a friend that's able to do this for you, or maybe you're able to do this for yourself, you can do this once you access Eridium Blight. As you can see, once you access it, he will spawn. If you have a character who has access to this area, even if you've completed the first playthrough and you've started True Vault Hunter mode, you can go back to your normal playthrough. But once you have access to this, it's good up until around level 30. And then that character that you have level 30 should easily be able to finish off that final boss at that level. It may be a little tough at level 30, but if you still have some storyline quests to do, you should be able to level up a few times before you actually have to fight the final boss. And on True Vault Hunter mode, I haven't actually reached The Eridium Blights, I'm right next to it, but I'm playing co-op with a friend, so I can't really just rush ahead and go check it out. But I assume that since everything else around where I'm at is 46, 47, I'm assuming he should be either that or higher, which would mean this is a viable method all the way up to until 50 on True Vault Hunter mode, if it's the exact same, which I assume it is. I hope you enjoyed my little guideline for how to level your character quickly, how to boost him up. I hope you enjoyed it. Later.